Hello, everyone, and welcome to Powering the Digital Workplace. I'm Larry Williams. I'm the president and CEO of TAG, the Technology Association of Georgia, and we're also the organization that produces Fintech South. We have all moved to work from home in this COVID world. We now use terms like the new normal to describe how we work from home now, but also look into the future of how it will be balanced with a return to work scenarios and how those two work from homes and return to work might be balanced. I would like to welcome everyone to this session and welcome our guest, Scott Eason, Global Vice President for Verizon Enterprise Solutions. Scott, you and Verizon have been at the forefront of the digital workplace and the work from home shift. Would you set up this session for us with your learnings, and then we'll have a great discussion about it?
Hi, thank you, Larry. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to join. So, yeah, it's been a crazy time. I hope everyone is safe and your families are safe as well. So we at Verizon have indeed been square in the middle of what's been happening with the pandemic. We ourselves sent about 115,000 employees home back in early March. And I've got a couple of slides that we'll share, if we can put those up on the screen. There we go. So, sort of the current state of the market. So from 2005 to 2017, work from home, remote working increased about 159%. And now basically we're all working from home. So we've got millions of employees out there worldwide that are doing this work, and it cuts across all sectors, irrespective of it cuts across all sectors and all functions of work within a given organization. So all of this remote working certainly produces some significant business challenges. Home internet service, when you're working and your kids are distance learning and you're sharing the bandwidth, that's presented some problems for employees and kids as well, right? Collaboration tool sets have largely stood up pretty well during this time, but still can continue to get better. So it's all about stability as far as the technology is concerned. With millions and millions of additional remote workers, there are significant security concerns as well. There's been 130% increase in VPN traffic, and very unfortunately, the bad actors come out during this time as well. Phishing attacks have been on the rise. Ransomware attacks have been on the rise. And so, organizations are having to really button down as far as what their new security posture is, and to sort of examine governance and policies in this regard as well. And there have been, significant productivity issues as well. I was not a work from home person prior to the pandemic. In fact, I believed in being in the office and having teams together to collaborate and that kind of thing. I think many others were like that as well. So it takes some learning to learn how to work from home as well. And I think everybody's adjusted and done well. But, there was an initial period where people had to think about that and think about how they managed their day. There have been significant costs associated with this as well. I know we here at Verizon, we're providing additional high bandwidth services to customers in their data centers because all of a sudden they had significant additional public-facing internet that we had to care about, right? And so that was an additional cost for our customers as well. And maintaining employee morale, people can get isolated, and to ensure that didn't happen, our CEO began a daily call for all 100,000 plus employees of Verizon that has continued to this day. In fact, we did that for the employees alone for the first month or so, and then converted, and now we do it externally. So anyone can join the up to speed calls every day. And then, with respect to kind of management and employee interactions, we've got to force collaboration and force engagement during this time. We set up peer-to-peer collaboration as well, where employees were talking to employees about work and personal matters as well. And we've just had to really sort of lean in as far as the engagements were concerned. So we've developed some solutions around this as well. Let's go on to the next slide if we can. If we sort of start in that red triangle there at first, just the first order of business is a significant security assessment, and that's assessing the environmentals that you've got in your organization. What policies do you have around remote access, identity and access management? What are the logging and monitoring policies? And then certainly encryption as well. So a significant effort around pen testing for the remote workers as well as site to site, to ensure that you've got a good posture, and then we'll produce a report for you that tells you what your security posture is and make recommendations around how you remediate. And that's an iterative process that we would go through with a client on a monthly basis. On the right, we provide site services to ensure the site readiness for an employee to work. We'll provide white glove implementation services as well as day 2 support for customers as well. And that might not be something that you provide for your entire employee base. There may be a certain segment of employees that just have got to have buttoned down performance. And so you might do that work for that set of employees as well. And if you think about Verizon, think about us as a communications integrator as well. We've got more than 200 ecosystem partners that we work with around the globe. Some of those are down on the right-hand side: Fortinet, Aruba, Meraki. The list goes on. So depending on the choices that a company makes, we can provide integration services for those companies as well. And then finally, analytics. So monitoring end user experience is incredibly important. We do that work to ensure that there's constant monitoring of the network, constant monitoring of the applications to ensure high quality performance for our customers. And then finally, if we go on to the next slide, there we go. Collaboration is critical. Very luckily, the collab platforms have stood up pretty well during the pandemic. We provide services, our own services. During the pandemic, we acquired a world-class collaboration platform called Blue Jeans. I hope everyone is users. We also provide services with WebEx and Zoom as well. This has been critical during this time that these platforms have stood up and they've done well. So we're excited about the work that we're doing on behalf of our clients, Larry, and it's going to be this way for a little while, and we want to be here in service of our customers.
Scott, thanks so much for the presentation and these interesting perspectives. I think you really framed up this multidimensional challenge that we're looking at, because it's not just shifting from home; it's making sure that all of the services are there, and then we've got to think about security. We have to think about privacy. And all the functionality that comes along that, all the stuff that's behind the scenes. So just as you were talking, I'm just curious, how is this, work from home impacted Verizon's demand period and your platforms? You've had to shift from, business demand to residential demands.
Yeah, I am super proud of how the company has showed up on behalf of our customers and society during this time. Forbes magazine ranked Verizon #1 in terms of how we worked on behalf of our customers during the pandemic. They ranked it in roughly 22 different categories, and we're proud of the work that we've done. We also committed about $500 million of additional CapEx during this time to ensure that the network was bolstered and stood up for our customers. We've seen about 130% increase, as I mentioned a moment ago, of VPN traffic during this time. I think everybody knows the heaviest calling day of the year is Mother's Day. And we're handling Mother's Day level traffic every day now. So as crazy as it sounds, voice is the new killer app. and that's going pretty well for us. Huge increase as well in collaboration. WebEx, Zoom, Blue Jeans has seen about a 50% increase, a 30% increase in instant messaging during this time as well. And very unfortunately, we've seen about 120% increase in malicious traffic and the bad guys out there as well. So I hope everyone is being very vigilant about how they're behaving while they're online.
The bad guys only have to get it right once.
That's right.
Have to protect it every time. Hey, at Verizon, you mentioned this. So let's talk about how you're developing skills for performance management in a virtual world, Blue Jeans world. You mentioned you've got to force collaboration sometimes, and these tools are available to us to really assist in how we do performance management and collaborate. Talk to us a little bit more about what you're doing at Verizon.
So as I mentioned, we really picked up the level of interaction from employee to employee as well as management to employee. And as you know, Larry, you've got to care for the personal side of the employee. You always had to, but it's very important now. And so, we care for the personal side of the employee first, and then obviously the business side as well. And also, we've been deliberate around recognition and recognizing the good work that people are doing during this time. My gosh, you've got people working from home. You've got children learning from home. Parents have become teachers as well as employees during this time as well. And we want to make sure that we're recognizing the difficulties that have come along with that. So it's really just about leaning in and being deliberate about engaging with our employees and being deliberate about recognizing the work that they're doing.
That's great. It really has put a lot of different pressure points and lots more demands on the individual. And I think recognizing the stress levels that it puts on people is very smart. Yeah. Let's talk about how is the new normal providing opportunities as well. Obviously, there are challenges, but there are things like a digital acceleration in digital health, digital education, and fintech. And this is a fintech conference, so I think it's an interesting perspective of the shift from people purchasing more from home, but also you have retail stores. We think about contactless transactions.
Yeah. So we had begun the work on contactless prior to the pandemic. Our retail stores, like everyone, closed for a period of time, and then we quickly gradually reopened to serve our customers as well. We've done that in a very socially distanced way, and a contactless way as well. So happy with the work that we've done, and it's really just a continuation of the work that we had begun prior to the pandemic. On the digital health front, we've all seen a dramatic increase in telemedicine, and as we go forward, I think what society has realized is that from a telemedicine point of view, the diagnostics and analysis can be done remotely, so that when an employee enters a doctor's office or enters a hospital, they enter for treatment, not for diagnosis. And so less time spent in the facility, and that's all come to pass because of technology. Verizon was first in the world to enter 5G. And that's provided a kind of a technology platform on which many of these digital evolutions can develop.
That's great. All right, Scott. Now let's look into your crystal ball. Let's talk about what the future of the digital workplace looks like. What's going to happen? Are we going to be working, out of our basements for the foreseeable future, or out of our kids' bedrooms? Or are we going to start to move to a hybrid world? What do you think?
Yeah, we've been in our basements for a while. We're probably going to be there for a bit longer. We've begun at Verizon to gradually come back to the office in a very deliberate way. It's voluntary. as well. I think in the new return to work, we've learned during this time that many functions can continue to work remotely. And I personally, as I mentioned a moment ago, was not a remote worker believer before, and I am now. And so it's changed me and how I believe work can be done. And I think companies are going to realize that. And remote working is going to be here to stay for a big subset of the employee base. And when we return to work full speed, nobody knows. If I had that answer, Larry, I'd be in really good shape. But I don't. But I think it'll be a hybrid world when we get back, and look forward to shaking people's hands and engaging again.
Well, I'm with you. This isn't good for an extrovert and person that really thrives on networking and meeting new people. But everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this session on powering the digital workplace. Please join me in thanking Scott Eason, Global Vice President at Verizon Enterprise Solutions, for his insights in this conversation. Scott, I always have a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you also for your leadership on our board of directors. My name is Larry Williams. I'm the CEO at TAG, the Technology Association of Georgia, and hope you enjoy all the rest of the sessions at Fintech South.
Thank you.